Abuse has always been out there, trauma has been out there.
And we thought it would be good to help children deal with a dark occurrence in their life, to help them cope.
I believe that the best way to learn how to do something is to participate in an authentic task.
How can we address that issue and create an effective game that will go along with this trauma narrative? How can we break that cycle, make the child come out of that?
The challenge is combining it with the game.
And my idea is actually that the authentic task not just be kind of a task that I've made up for class, but there are so many important tasks out there that games can do well. Why don't we actually tackle something that's a real-world problem?
We're VGH1 storytellers, and we are making a video game. We are creating a game to help teleport or bring our players into a world where they can follow along with a character.
The interactivity in games is a way to give them control over something.
Right.
Like, we understand that video games are not the answer to, you know, like the ultimate answer, like the panacea that would just you know, cure everything. With someone who has post-traumatic stress.
A lot of the work that we've done in this class is trying to develop connections and a synthesis between learning theory, psychology, and the growing field of serious game design. That there's a lot of people making serious games out there, and especially educational games. The number of people who are actually making educational games that are based in theory and that have sort of a sound pedagogical and experimental underpinning is much, much, much smaller. And I feel that it's my responsibility as an educator to see that my students are a part of that group.
We chose to design Emote.
We based it on the fact that we wanted to use interactive narrative, and then through this research that we read about the personal narrative of individuals and the trauma narrative.
But we've really been talking about the issue of agency and gameplay and whether or not that agency can transfer from the projected identity you have in a game to your own personal identity.
I don't see the students in my advanced class as students who are here to take a class. It is part of a trajectory, right, that is going to lead people to interesting work of some kind or another. And I think that this work may be influential on them in the longer term.
I think it's very important that there is a storyline in the game which the victims can, our players who are the victims can identify with and metaphorically deal with some issues they might have of their own. And I think the story will help them a lot.
And we're hoping that by playing this game, this video game, that we can help develop a sense of agency within our players.
But the challenge is, how are we going to put it in a therapeutic environment?